So today I'm going to be talking about the film Memento and just my view on how that connects to Locke's theory of personal identity, and I'm going to talk about some of the examples in the film of how that either contradicted or helped with proving Locke's theory with personal identity. So just starting from the beginning of the movie, or not the beginning, but just like looking at Locke's theory in general, we basically are trying to connect memories to how a person changes over time, is kind of how it goes. So a person is a thinking, intelligent being that can consider itself as itself in different times and places. This idea is challenged in Memento. So if you can remember your past thoughts and actions, you are then the same person. But in the film, Leonard, who's the main character, cannot remember any memories whatsoever because he suffers from anterograde amnesia. And so throughout the film, he tries to kind of remember things by either like writing it down or getting tattoos, or he gets information from his friends who aren't, or kind of his friends but aren't really his friends. But this goes against Locke's theory, because if he can't remember anything, he's not the same person, even if he can physically see something that he wrote down in the past that he thought of. He doesn't know that he doesn't actually know that if he wrote that down, or if someone else did, or if it's true. So he can't actually know what his true personal identity really is. And then there's also the moral aspect of it, which is looking at his actions and how whether or not he would be morally responsible for them. Locke would say that he is not morally responsible, since he cannot remember actually doing those things, whether he just has pictures of them. But Leonard can't even remember what the pictures even are, and he can't necessarily draw conclusions between what picture represents what action that he did. And so, but there are different arguments that you can use to defend that he is morally responsible, but Locke would say that he isn't. Which brings me to some of the weaknesses, which is that even though Leonard, we discovered at the end of the movie, he has already killed his wife's killer, he doesn't remember it. Even though he has a picture of it, he doesn't know what the picture represented. He can't draw that conclusion from his memory because it doesn't exist. Well, it does exist, but it's gone. Or it did exist. So he's still seeking revenge. And he tries to maintain the whole purpose of his life now, and probably for the rest of his life, is going to be to catching his wife's killer. And so he maintains that purpose through habits, routines, and external reminders, such as the tattoos and the pictures, and Teddy telling him things, and Natalie as well. And memory alone, and it's clear that memory alone is not enough to explain who we are and what we do. So in conclusion, Memento illustrates Locke's theory through broken fragments, as opposed to complete connection between one stream of consciousness continue through the other. And this raises questions of, is memory the only identity that we have? If you don't have your memory, then what are you necessarily? And that's what Locke's theory tries to figure out, or at least tries to prove, that memory is the only way that you can have your own self, your own personal identity. And the film also just kind of goes over, it shows you how when memory fails, you as a person also fail, in a sense.